Hello again, I'm Michael, and I'd like to welcome you back to the Round Number One YouTube channel. Although the title description may imply a specific focus, there's always more to explore. With our newer YouTube uploads now timestamped, you can quickly listen to the main topics discussed in this video. Feel free to skip ahead to the parts that interest you or stay right where you are. Now let's begin. AJ Styles was recently interviewed by Chris Van Vliet, and one quote that stood out to me was him saying this, and I quote, "I've realized that people don't remember wrestling, they remember moments, and I want to make moments happen rather than wrestling." End quote. This resonated with me, especially while watching WWE program this year on the road to WrestleMania 41. I've realized that much wrestling has been forgettable, but the moments have stayed with me. For instance, during the opening hour of Raw on Netflix, and Jey Uso, he further in the show, he was puppeteering the audience with his directions. Then another moment would be him in his victory at the 2025 Royal Rumble. Another memorable moment was when Cody Rhodes confronted The Rock, telling him to go F himself, followed by John Cena attacking Rhodes for standing against The Rock. These are unforgettable moments for WWE in 2025 as we approach WrestleMania 41. Now, the WWE has been focusing on creating moments rather than wrestling to encourage viewership for WrestleMania 41, whether in person or on Peacock in the US and globally on Netflix. However, some moments like the ongoing feud between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton have fallen flat for me. If you check out our Round Number One YouTube channel and look at the post tab, you'll see that I'm not enthusiastic about the WrestleMania 41 matchup. Unlike other podcasters who are excited because two blonde women are facing off, I'm not impressed. Charlotte Flair was out of action for about 9 months due to a knee injury she suffered in December 2023, which required surgery for a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Since her return at the 2025 Royal Rumble, where she entered as the 27th participant and survived for only 15 minutes and 4 seconds, she appeared fragile. So last week on SmackDown, a bizarre moment was intended to create a lasting impression. Tiffany performed moonsaults on Charlotte and many WWE security guards. The issue was that the security guards were absorbing the impact meant for Charlotte, who still appears fragile after her injury. Although Charlotte wrestled on SmackDown this week, she was up against B-Fab, who was careful not to exert excessive weight during their match, likely to protect her before WrestleMania 41. At this point, if I have to do anything impactful on the night of their match, I may opt to leave the room. Now, on the other hand, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is a WrestleMania match that I've been advocating for, as I've mentioned in my Round Number One YouTube posts for months. I initially predicted Bianca would win the 2025 Royal Rumble, and I'm glad she didn't, especially after seeing her reaction to Jade Cargill's return at the Elimination Chamber this February. Io Sky is now the world champion, and WrestleMania 41 will feature a triple threat match, even though it's unclear how Rhea secured her spot since the Raw general manager has denied her entry. While I like all three women involved, it is disappointing that no memorable moments have yet been created for this matchup. Regarding Gunther versus Jey Uso, we all saw their match at Saturday night's main event where Jey Uso lost. However, Jey Uso's victory at the 2025 Royal Rumble has legitimized his claim to the main event at WrestleMania 41, where he will re-challenge Gunther for the World Championship. Unfortunately, leading up to WrestleMania 41, none of their matches or interactions have been particularly memorable to me. Although I expect Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 41, WWE should be building tension with moments between Jey Uso and Gunther to showcase the pressure on Jay as he faces Gunther. Gunther, in my opinion, who is looking weak going into this WrestleMania 41 match. Gunther has had competitive matches against wrestlers such as Axiom, who is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, which he should not have. More memorable moments, hopefully, will be created in the lead up to their match. Now, even though Jey Uso is headlining WrestleMania 41 against Gunther for the World Championship, it's important to note that the WWE Championship, with a lineage dating back to 1963, is a true main event. The actual headline match for WrestleMania 41 is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. One of the most significant moments in recent wrestling history occurred at the 2025 Elimination Chamber PLE, almost said pay-per-view, in Toronto, where The Rock asked Cody Rhodes for his soul. Cody declined, which led to a brutal attack on him by John Cena, The Rock, and The Rock's guest, rapper Travis Scott. Another critical moment happened on Monday Night Raw last week, March 17th, 2025. This edition of Monday Night Raw aired live from Belgium. According to the WWE website, John Cena criticized the WWE Universe and Cody Rhodes responded. I'll tell you the honest truth, I wasn't impressed with Cena or Cody Rhodes' comments during that exchange. To clarify, for those YouTubers and podcasters who believe the moment resonated more because Raw was overseas, that perspective isn't fair to the audience. Yes, the overseas crowd was excited to witness their first ever Monday Night Raw show in Belgium featuring John Cena, and of course they wanted Cody Rhodes to fire back at him. Are people suggesting that the American audience wouldn't have given the same reception if it had happened in the United States? The domestic audience at live events react based on their preferences, and remember, the United States is WWE's primary touring market. We should stop acting like overseas crowds are inherently better than domestic crowds. For instance, the crowds at Madison Square Garden in New York City 2 weeks ago for Raw, and the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles for Raw's debut on Netflix were significantly louder than Belgium last Monday. As for John Cena, he made his way to the ring to address the WWE Universe last Monday night in Belgium. The audience greeted him with the usual mix of cheers and boos. Cena acknowledged this reaction and believed that everyone's support was self-serving. He made notable statements during his address. Here's one, and I quote, he said, "For 25 years, I've been the victim, okay? I have been the victim of an abusive relationship," Cena remarked. He followed up with saying, and I quote, "All of you are abusive, and all you've ever done is bully me into being your damn puppet, expecting me to do it all with a smile on my face, no more," end quote. This segment lasted about 20 minutes before Cody Rhodes came out and said, and I quote, "Well, this better not show up at WrestleMania, because if it does, I'll run it over, I'll run it out, because I already took its best shot and it wasn't enough. I'll retire Cena early, so go find John Cena because I want to wrestle him at WrestleMania 41, end quote. While the moment was entertaining for those 20 minutes, I doubt that it will be a memorable moment. I guarantee that when the video recap for WrestleMania 41 is produced, most of what Cena said on March 17th, 2025 will be left out. This is mainly because Cena ignored addressing The Rock and Travis Scott, who will eventually have to clarify their involvement whenever they appear on Raw. Cody himself remarked that this isn't the same John Cena who brutally attacked him alongside The Rock and Travis Scott, and he expressed reluctance to even engage in a physical altercation with him. Cena said nothing, but I bet he wanted to convey the following. I bet he wanted to say that he doesn't want to fight it at all because he's got a new hair transplant. He also wants to look good in his new gear, which he hopes the WWE Universe will purchase every week. And additionally, he is eager for The Rock to show up since this storyline was his creation and I won't speak for him. So overall, I think this segment lacked memorability, and unfortunately, it may take weeks to develop this storyline further and address the gaps between Cody, John Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott. Furthermore, this year's WrestleMania 41 so far lacks memorability as a whole. But before I move on to the next topic, 10 days ago on the last upload, I mentioned that John Cena and R-Truth would be in a segment which would have happened on the March 17th episode of Raw. I don't know if R-Truth wasn't let into Belgium as to why this segment didn't happen, but I'm still holding out that this segment does happen. And R-Truth is still talking about John Cena's heel turn on his social media account. John Cena is scheduled to appear on only 2 more episodes of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 41. March 24th from Glasgow, Scotland, which is tomorrow, and March 31st from London in the UK. Cena is not scheduled for other television appearances until the night after WrestleMania 41. So the Raw after WrestleMania 41 may be Cena's last television appearance before he's scheduled for Saturday night's main event on May 25th, 2025. Further confirmed dates for Cena occurs on May 30th, SmackDown in Knoxville, Tennessee, June 13th, SmackDown in Lexington, Kentucky, and June 20th, SmackDown in Grand Rapids, I think Missouri. In my opinion, only the WWE personnel, not the WWE Universe, are to blame if the storyline fails. Now, moving on, I want to address the Giulia situation and the gossip between her losing the NXT Women's Championship to Stephanie Vaquer. Now, to clarify, Giulia was pinned by Stephanie Vaquer at NXT Roadblock, and there is no factual basis for why she dropped the title to her. Now, the rumors suggest that a minor injury Giulia was experiencing and complications to her visa status may have contributed to this outcome. The Wrestling Observer reported this gossip. While gossip is entertaining and often sparks curiosity, it can lead to insights that may be accurate, potentially harming relationships and reputations. Despite Giulia's challenges, she did not leave the United States. She was present at NXT last week behind the scenes and performed some physical in-ring work at the NXT live event in Bartow, Florida, yesterday, Saturday night. Interestingly, Giulia attacked Cora Jade, and I hope this will be explained on this week's episode of NXT. Okay, moving forward, still talking about WWE, I want to discuss how WWE capitalizes on the WWE Universe's excitement for WrestleMania 41 week. Now, about 10 days ago, I shared details about the 2025 Hall of Fame ticket prices, and I also mentioned that WWE will be announcing more events for WrestleMania 41 week at the Fontainebleau Las Vegas Resort. So last week, we got news that NXT is scheduled to take place at the Fontainebleau on April 22nd, 2025, the Tuesday after the Raw after WrestleMania. Also, we've gotten word that The Undertaker's One Dead Man show will be on April 19th, and the Roast of WrestleMania is set for April 20th. For WrestleMania 41, there's still tickets available. Tickets for upper level seating with a priority pass are $750 per person for night one and $1,600 per person for both nights combined. The tickets for the Roast of WrestleMania range from $995 for premium lounge seating to $2,350 per person for premium floor seating. Please note that these ticket prices are for seats that are currently available. It's important to note that some attendees will be sitting ringside for both nights of WrestleMania 41, attending the WWE Hall of Fame, participating in superstar brunches, and enjoying various events throughout WrestleMania weekend. The total cost for these experiences, without including travel and hotel expenses, may exceed $80,000. You know, to spend that kind of money and still be financially secure, one would need a stable job with a high salary, significant savings or investments, or multiple income streams. I can hardly fathom that level of expenditure. It likely reflects an outcome of over 1.1 million. Now, regarding AEW, I refuse to watch any footage of the Spiked Bat Spot. I don't like seeing people get hurt for real in something predetermined like professional wrestling. Performing a predetermined stunt such as being suplexed on a board of real nails is incredibly reckless. Incidents like this highlight the irresponsibility of AEW. In my opinion, Tony Khan is not a traditional wrestling promoter. He's a fan. I don't care who gets upset with me for saying this, because the truth is that he started AEW to fulfill his fandom without seeking guidance from those who would have been glad to help him learn the business. I'm talking about people like Jeff Jarrett, who works for him currently, people like Kerry Silkin, Gabe Sapolsky, or even Court Bauer. With the backing of his billionaire father, he took the shortcut and aligned himself with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, who were already aligned in partnership with ROH to produce the first All-In show. This event was significant because it was the first professional wrestling event in the United States not promoted by WWE or WCW that sold 10,000 tickets since 1993. All-In took place at the Sears Center Arena with an attendance of 11,263, generating a buy rate of $50,000. You can verify this information using data from WrestleNomics and the Wrestling Observer archives. Khan utilized his father's wealth to establish AEW and persuaded Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks to abandon any business dealings they had or were planning with New Japan Pro Wrestling and ROH. Khan then leveraged his father's connections to negotiate a television deal with Warner Media. This brings us to the 6th year of AEW, which has witnessed yet another incident that underscores the irresponsibility of the company and the fan who runs it. There was a time in wrestling where people had to do dangerous things like this to make a decent living. Thankfully, someone like Mick Foley has become a multimillionaire and is still a multimillionaire as of 2025 with significant savings, investments, and multiple income streams. I'm also pretty sure some of those deathmatch wrestlers in Japan are financially well off. As I mentioned in an earlier upload, if someone like The Miz can list a $10 million house on the market, then both Edge and Jon Moxley must have earned significant money, as they have been more successful than The Miz. However, why are these multimillionaires engaging in such high risk and dangerous stunts? Both Edge and Jon Moxley should feel ashamed for participating in such reckless maneuvers. As veterans in the business, it would be wise for them to set a positive example by addressing the locker room and addressing the foolishness of their actions. They should say, "We did this risky spot and managed to walk away unscathed. But you might not be so lucky, so don't try it, and will help prevent you from making the same mistake." I can only imagine what CM Punk might say privately about this issue. So I'm ending this recording by talking about one of the greats in boxing, George Foreman, who passed away on March 21st, 2025 at 76 years old. His passing reminds me of my grandparents, who were born in the same generation. Like my grandparents, George Foreman was influenced by the business. A lot of the humor my grandparents had came from professional wrestling, and it rubbed off on my uncles and myself. But about George Foreman, his charismatic personality and larger-than-life persona made him a natural fit for the wrestling scene. And he's made many friends in the wrestling scene. One notably Hulk Hogan, who made a great posting on his social media account about being friends with George Foreman. So with that being said, this is Michael, the Round the One YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys will have a great week, and we'll see you in the week. Thank you. Bye.